I think the funniest thing is she got a call that day and she told us all that she had a boyfriend. I should have stopped there. I really should have. Not to say that she clearly wasn't. She clearly it wasn't. Not to say that she was clearly uninterested in me, but it was definitely a red flag that she was already dating somebody else, yet was willing to go this far with me. I mean, I absolutely was not at all a great looking human being. I was the particular type of individuals that are most commonly associated with horror stories. But, I was a nerdy kid and didn't know better. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't care. But yes, I dated her for quite a while. Because after that day, after she had told me that she had a boyfriend, after that, in fact, she even uh, told me about her polyamorous lifestyle. She told me that often she thought about ditching him. So I thought that was my end. That I could clearly get in there and everything, and I could rescue the princess, as it were. Uh, but nowadays, I kind of wish I hadn't. Yeah, it's just one of those things where life reveals more things than should have. And you could have said, oh, well, you should have seen the signs. You should have seen the signs. And I gotta be honest with you, I should have. Because I'll be honest, she was not a great person. For you see, not only did she have a quote unquote polyamorous lifestyle, she was very quick to ditch her boyfriend after a time. She talked to her uh, boyfriend and convinced him that she should let her date me. And he agreed, which was fine. And like, it's not like she lied to him or anything like that. I didn't know better, and I didn't think much of it at the time because it was just this really weird situation. And all of my friends said, hey, watch out. My mother said, hey, watch out. It's kind of weird. Did I listen? No. Because I saw the end of that tunnel. In fact, that very night, that first night, she asked me to come over to her house, come inside. She practically begged. And I was just going to go home like a gentleman and say, hey, maybe next time. But, you know, when somebody asks you to come inside the open door, it's kind of hard to say no. And sure enough, We had a lot of fun that night. I will not lie. She was, well, we'll say freaky and just leave it at that. Uh, we, uh, we had a lot of fun, and then her dog started barking. And I got out of there before her parents woke up to kick my ass out of the house. Not that apparently they would have cared. They in fact like me a lot more than their own daughter. But anyways, that's an issue for another bit. So here I am. I I in this relationship with this girl who's already in a relationship with another man, and I am having fun. I am doing all the things that you shouldn't do, and I am getting to get away with it because she's the one who's asking for it. I'm finally the one who gets public displays of attention instead of watching my friends who are dating do it. And at the time, I think that a couple of them were trying to show me how cringy it was, that I was just having too much of a good time to see that. Yeah. The funny thing is, she talks about how, or she would talk about how later, anyways, that she feels like it's her fault that my friends broke up because until she joined the group, they were all fine. And I'm not saying it's because of her. It's actually because of another person who got jealous that uh, somebody was giving me the attention, and she had finally gotten her life sorted out so that way she could swoop in and take me. And I think she's really the one that caused the root to rift, as it were. But, or at least to actually tear. But, that be life. It's funny because I don't know how to put it. I beat myself up for it for so long that I allowed that to happen. And, it wasn't really that it was anyone's fault. It was just, I guess, in a way you could say it was just how the cookie crumbled. But it still didn't change the fact that I beat myself up over it. Well, anyways, let's get our thoughts back in order. Here I was, having the time of my life. I had an actual girlfriend who actually wanted to be with me and didn't just want to, do one or two dates and then ditch me somewhere. This was a girl who wanted me for a change. And we were like a honeymoon couple. I mean, we did it everywhere. Anywhere where there was a flat surface. I mean it. And, you know, hindsight be 2020. Uh, there were a lot of red flags at the very beginning. But it was like, who cares? I'm actually having fun for a change. I'm having a relationship for a change. But just was weird at the end of the day. How do I explain it? It's not that she or me or anybody was bad or needed to be dealt with. But I was the one who, for a change, got all of the relationship attention. And many of my friends were actually having tough spots in their life. And I couldn't be bothered because I was finally getting attention. It's funny how that works, huh? And I I guess the best way of putting it is I feel like I failed them, but I understood that not exactly couldn't exactly be failing them if I wasn't really feeling that I was part of the group in the first place. I was a nerd. They were nerds. And in that respect, we were companions, but I guess the best way of putting it is that is it. We didn't really do much besides play Magic or D&D. They didn't want to hang out with me outside the crowd, except I think we one time went bowling and never got invited to go bowling with them again. I thought, well, I'm finally getting what I wanted. Yeah. But, I look back on it and it was probably just me. I was an awkward kid, like a lot of people are. And I'm not saying that, uh, I'm not saying that it's a particularly easy subject to talk about, but it wasn't unoften for me to be bullied because of it, especially back then. Nowadays, I'll just walk away from a conversation. If somebody's trying to talk shit about me, I don't really care. But back then, I'll let that shit get to me quite often. As most people do. But it was a lot different back then. I didn't really have, or at least it didn't feel like I had anybody who actually was there to watch my back until much later in life. And my ex was the first person who actually treated me like a real human being. So, I mean, obviously, oh, I don't know what else to tell you. So, anyways, here I am dealing with this cringy internet stuff. And back then, I I didn't do anything like drugs or anything like that, but I definitely was very into her, which I shouldn't have been because she was not into me. And the way I know that is because while we slept together and we did things together, eventually she would find somebody else. I was the safe relationship, the relationship that wasn't about to run away from her safety net, as it were. And it was quite often. And we had agreed at the beginning of our relationship that as long as you are honest and apologized